Hello, I'm Professor Stephen Abbott. In the previous video about AppWriter, I showed the basics of how it's possible for a non-expert to specify that, for example, you want a couple of graphs, a couple of sliders, text box and a checkbox, and AppWriter automatically creates the HTML and the JavaScript which allow all this functionality to be used. I mentioned that for the videos I'm using my local host for this, but of course online you use www.stephenabbott.co.uk AppWriter, and all the development you do is entirely private because it's all taking place on your laptop, has nothing to do with my site. In this video I want to show a bit more of what goes on behind the scenes. The first thing is that when we've created the JavaScript and the HTML, yes, Control A, Control C to copy, then to paste, Control A, Control V. So I've now pasted that into testapp.js. I save that. I go back, do the same thing with the HTML, Control A, Control C, Control A, Control V. So there's the HTML. I save that. And if I then go to Windows File Explorer and double click on the testapp.html, it opens up and there's the app with the two graphs, the sliders, the text box and the checkbox, which is checked. Note that I've improved the look of the app by providing this box around it since the last video. If I want to add some extra functionality, for example, if I want to add a button whose ID equals button and whose caption equals press, then as soon as I hit return, the HTML and the JavaScript have been updated, of course, but also the outcode box has all these codes in it with a little A1, A2 to show where they are. The reason for this is that you can Control A, Control C, go to your text editor, have a new one, Control V, and then you can save that for future reference. So if you started AppWriter afresh, you could load this as a text file. You could then do Control A to copy, Control C, and then you would go back here to the encode, Control A, Control V. When I do that, the encode is translated into these boxes. So if I happen to have nothing here or some other stuff here, if I press encode, then it's all restored. So if I want to do a new app with a similar structure, I can start from the previous one and then work on improvements. I need to show you something else behind the scenes. Go into Windows File Explorer again. So there's the app and the JS, but of course you have to have some infrastructure. You download infrastructure.zip, and what happens is that it has this inc folder, and when I double click on it, then I have CSS, which is the style information. There's styles.css, which is the main one. Then you can overrule anything with custom.css. There's image, and that just has the Apple Touch icon and fav icon, and of course you can replace those with your own. And then there's JS, and we have the base for the apps. We have some plotting, jQuery of course, and the Bootstrap slider, which is used for the slider control. So you're provided with all the JavaScript and CSS you need. You can of course alter this in any way you like. By providing you with this infrastructure.zip, all you have to do is put it into some folder with inc and then save your HTML and your JS appropriately, and you're ready to go. It's as easy as that.